Okay, this is the fourth time I've tried to do this video. And this video is about why I don't do sound at black churches anymore. And also why I'm not really trying to do the sound engineering thing anymore. I've done it for over 10, 11 years. And it's time to reinvent myself into something different that fits more what my dreams and goals are. This is not a cry for help. This is not an anti-church video. This is not an anti-Christianity video, religion video. This is not an anti-black people video. But this video is about my experiences, and this is my story and my side. And it's going to be from my point of view. And it's going to be the correct point of view because it's my point of view. And I'm going to believe that my point of view is the correct point of view. And that's it. Or else would you be watching this channel if you didn't want to hear my point of view. If you don't like my point of view, just X out the video and get off of this film. Alright? So let's get into it. This video is going to be a condensed video about my experiences mixing sound in black church and why I'm no longer interested in doing it anymore. I mixed at two large mega churches here in the city, one on the east side of town, one on the west side of town. And there are some common things that I experienced in both churches that really kind of turned me off of the whole experience altogether. Even though I was serving clients, it was like there wasn't a lot of reciprocity of respect and trust. One of the common things was family and power at these churches. Now, these people weren't in position because of their talents or gifts, because they're not as gifted as a lot of people think they are. Of course, they're not going to see things from my point of view either. Whereas, it's not about what you know in church. It's not about who you know in church. It's about who you are. So, here I am dealing with family members who are family to the leadership. And in that kind of environment, family can do no wrong. There were a lot of obligatory thank yous and acknowledgement, but it felt more like, okay, I see you there, I better say thank you so I don't come off being rude, but if you weren't there, I really wouldn't be thinking about you to begin with in the first place. And so the first thing that kind of turns me off is about leadership, people being in leadership who aren't qualified to give certain commands and have certain perspectives about what sound engineers do. They didn't understand sound and weren't interested in understanding the technology that their ministries paid so much money to invest in. They were more comfortable being ignorant about the technology than really sitting down and letting someone teach them about it. It's broken, work. Oh, my mic's muffled. Fix it. I was unhappy with your performance, but you held the microphone improperly. So there was a lot of one-way dictatorship going on between both churches I worked at that really turned me off. It was really interesting because at the first church I worked at, I was really hoping to be part of a new church family and be part of that experience. But I was seen more as a hired gun than as a human being or a fellow Christian or fellow brother in the faith at all. I was more seen as the soldier of fortune, And at the second church, I actually had my heart guarded the whole time to protect myself, so I wouldn't be so disappointed, and proved to be the right thing to do. Even at the second churches, I really didn't enjoy a lot of the sermons there. Again, they're looking at me as not really an attending member, therefore I shouldn't look at them as any pastoral ministerial group. It was just really difficult because another thing I just didn't really like between the both churches I've done sound at was the fact that the musicians kind of got a free pass on a lot of things. They could travel, they could show up late, not really get checked too much about it, leave early, and it was just so much more respect thrown that way. And the problem that I saw at the second church, even at the first one, there's a favoritism given towards certain musicians and less thrown towards others. There wasn't really a real effort to treat everyone the same, and that wasn't cool. You know, so you combine that with the absolute ignorance of the technology of, and it was just there was no real effort of anyone trying to learn the technology that they used. But that's where they felt more comfortable. Now, if I was in any position where I was a leader or minister or anything like that, for me, because I come from a technical background, is I would try to understand the limitations of the technology instead of trying to force your technician to achieve something that's scientifically impossible. For example, with technology that you have, see, it goes so much deeper than the time I'm going to take for this video. But I'll give you an example. At both churches, there's a demand made upon me and upon other technicians to make a head-worn condenser microphone sound like and sound just as loud as a handheld dynamic microphone. Now, in the last situation I had, I didn't have any digital boards, didn't have any digital technology. I asked for it. However, they felt it was time to acquire this after they got rid of me. So it's like, wow, I've been judged on technology that's broken and not really up with the times, and I was crucified for it. And it's real and it's real easy for them to do that because they're in the position to do that. So and it became hard to be at a place of worship and have so much expectations thrust upon me and have no one really care about where I was at spiritually in leadership. And it got old really quickly, and I was like, man, I'd rather be a musician because at least I'll get treated with more respect. At least I'll be appreciated for what I do. At least I'll be thanked. And it was a very thankless position to be in for the most part, and most thank yous felt obligatory. So, and I felt like, but see, I put up with a lot of that so that I could pursue my dreams and goals on the outside. And that's what kept me around for so long, because it was like, this is the job. And that was another thing that I told friends. I was like, mixing sound isn't the job here. That person right there and that person right there, they're the job. To be able to maintain a straight as face as possible and a smile amidst all the ignorance about what you do was the job. And I didn't want to be in a position anymore because I thought that this church would be different than the last. And that was the hand I was dealt. I don't think everyone's experience is going to be like that. But that was my experience. And I'm glad it's over. It was a very rough time for me. Very challenging time for me. Very stressful time for me. And now I'm outside of my field. But I'm not as stressed as I used to be. And I'm a little happier now because of that. So those are a few things of why I prefer not being a sound engineer in black churches anymore, or being everyone's sound engineer anymore, because I don't want to be seen as the servant man. Turn this up, turn this down, give me my mic, it's not working, fix it, it's broken, fix it. I've been through enough of that. I've done my time with that. I want someone to mix for me. Turn my mic up, mix my song. Because that, at the core, is what I do best, is the music side. And trust me, I'm a great engineer. I think I make some great records. I really do feel that way. But you appreciate the artist. You don't appreciate the engineer. Who makes for Michael Jackson? Who mixes for Beyonce? Can you tell me? Alright, well, that's enough for now. I have fun doing these vlogs. It kind of helps me to process things. I hope this helps somebody. And I'll be back with some more vlogs. Please subscribe. Share this video if you like. Maybe it'll help somebody. Maybe it'll help someone improve on. See, that's why he was messed up. It'll be very interesting to see what happens with this. And I'm still trying to find out what you guys want to see. You guys aren't really showing me either or if my music's better, or I'm looking at the analytics. But whoever's out there watching, thank you for watching. And I'm done.